minute. Wait. Oh, sorry, viewers, I didn't see you there. Ugh, Mike, next time get this thing off the stage, man. Ah. Sorry, viewers. That was one of the DATV fellows. Anyways, how's it going, viewers? Christian Ramos here, and you've stumbled on episode 5 of Boss It. As usual, my name is Christian Ramos, and I am ready to boss. So anyways, I was supposed to have a guest on this episode, but they couldn't make it. Personal reasons. So, here's me today. So I wanted to talk about a few different topics here. And let's start off with television itself. Now, it's super complicated. I mean, last I remember, I was just a little young kid at like 6 when I was watching like, I don't know, PBS Kids or something. But ever since then, TV's evolved in a time when it never really had much room to evolve. I've thought of that as something different because not only is it the type of thing that you don't watch, that is, if you're not really interested, but it's also the type of thing you binge watch. That means like you're too interested. Like, I mean, there are a few good shows out there that are worth watching. Say like Breaking Bad, The Mythbusters, Chopped, Guys Grocery Games. That's just to rattle off a few, and in separate channels no less. Anyways, another thing I wanted to figure out is, why is TV so great to others, but why is TV so great to some people, but to others it's not? Well, that's another thing I don't get, because sure, everyone has their own sort of opinion, to each his own, as they say. But the one thing I don't get is, why does everyone have their own different tastes of TV? Like, people like to watch action, people like to watch romance, people like drama, mysteries, you know, like the generic old stuff people watch. There's talk shows. There's game shows, there's shows that show you the stocks, which, I mean, come on, isn't that what our phones are for nowadays? But all kidding aside, I think, if the truth be known, why TV exists is, I think, to better a portion of our lives that we can't do on our own. I mean, sure, don't get me wrong, there's like a monopoly, get it, of board games out there, like Monopoly for one. Shameless cross production. But there's also like the Game of Life, Scrabble. That's just to name a few. But I mean, and there's also TVs themselves, I mean, they range from like different sizes and the colors, and there's also the power that they take. I mean, if you're not careful, the next TV you could buy could wipe out an entire block. Yeah. But all kidding aside, what I think television was most likely invented for is, I think, to bring a new era of technology forward. But that's not the only piece of technology that we have. I mean, we've now got things called smart cars, like one button press, and you can find the weather, your GPS location, whatever. Now, I find that to be a great thing. 3 reasons. Number 1, you'll be able to track your GPS location with one push. Number 2, it's easier to people to figure out where you are. And number 3, you'll be able to get weather locations or updates at the very least. I don't think cars are advanced enough yet to get weather locations. But who knows? Maybe we'll start seeing them in 2040. Until then, we've got our old cars to deal with. I mean, there are some old cars out there that really sell for some buck, am I right? You know? You get the Monet for the car, eh? Get the Monet for the cars, eh? But, you know, there have been quite a few different things. I mean, there's a few new applications out there. There's a few translator applications which are important if you're going across the border. There's an application like TrueCar which can help you find out what kind of car you're interested in, how much it sells for, and even what kind of year it is, model, make, etc. So I find that quite effective, especially if you're worrying about finding a good deal for a car that has like been on the market for like 30, 40 years or something. But that's just the beginning. I mean, there's been computers like that box I just pushed off. Seriously, I don't even know why I did that again. I did that in episode 1, and even then, it was still priceless. Oh man, but at least this time I gave a bit of a more punchline to it. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. Technology is a very confusing thing. I mean, like I said, in like episode 2, there are viruses, worms, Trojan horses. But I mean, technology throughout history, it's been, how shall I say, dystopian as it stands. But I mean, technology itself is an ever engaging future. I mean, before you know it, before you know, in like a few years, this will be virtual reality. And trust me, I think I speak for all you DATV viewers out there when I say that would be cool, which I bet it will, because you'll get to see me without even having to worry about the cameras anymore. Of course, there'll still be a few cameras, but anyways. And speaking of cameras, there are many different versions of cameras out there. There's a Nikon camcorder, there's a Kodak camera, there's even a few AG cameras. You know, you see those at least day to day. People like putting mosaics together. But there's also like editing software. DATV uses Final Cut Pro, of which I can honestly say without laughing that they are pros at being. I'm sorry. I swear I was gonna say that without laughing, but I could not. But I mean, how could I not? The joke was right there. Anyways, technology itself, like I said, complicated. If you don't know how to use it, but if you do, then congratulations. Now let's go back a few years and talk about technology through time, or TTT as it were. I think a good place to start would be most likely with Thomas Edison, who had invented the light bulb. That was a piece of technology. It's what's lighting me up right here as I'm talking. I mean, there's like a different kind of strobe bulbs, like right here. But what are those all driven by? Light bulbs. And what are light bulbs driven by? Wires. And what are wires? A type of technology. That's what they are. It's all driven through power cords, or power strips, as it were. And you use those to make sure that you have the ample amount of lighting, heat, cooling. It's a network. I mean, there are certain video games out there that help you take technology, like electricity for one, and turn it into things that are like useful for the environment. Like there's a game out there called Electric Box 2. The sequel to the first Electric Box of the same name, of course. And that time they teach you, and that time every single level teaches you how to produce electricity in order to meet a certain goal through a closed/open circuit, all with lasers, hamsters, food, music, the such. But I'm not surprised that if they turn that into real life, you can be sure I'll be there. Because electricity itself, it's a cool thing. And fun fact, did you know that by the time that you've taken one step, electricity has taken about 10 million times more than that, if not billion, I dare say. Because electricity is like mega fast. It's like think about like if you would like just ingested 20 cups of coffee and then you had like 30 candy bars. You could run up Mount Everest and down with that 20 times. But let me tell you, that's fast. Although, yes, it can be artificial. Because you don't really think about how much you use electricity. But that's why there's companies like, what's one? National Grid. Yeah, National Grid. They are the type of people, the electricians, the electricians on watch, as it were, to help you figure out how much your electricity bill costs, or how high it is, or how low it is, or what you can do to reduce it, or, well, not so much what you can do to increase it, but rather what you can do to stop increasing it. Yeah, that's more like it. But I mean, I think it should be known, there are a lot of electricianal companies out there. I don't even know if that's a word. There are a lot of electricianal companies out there that know exactly what to do and how to help you in a time of electrical need, as it were. But I think of that as a type of easy thing, because I mean that they're A, easy to access, B, they're almost all around the world, and C, they're about as good. They're like a neighbor or like a set of neighbors who really knows how to work a wire or two. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's the type of thing I like, because you have people that help you when you have like a power surge or a power failure or a cut, or like there's like a lightning storm that rages down. But that kind of thing is what people really take pride in. And I find that quite incredible, that some people dedicate their lives to helping others, to helping make others, well, for lack of a better word here, brighter. Light bulb jokes. And speaking of jokes, I got a good one for you. Why did the chicken cross the road? Now you may think you've heard this one before, but just go with me. So, why did he cross the road? The answer is, he was trying to get to our fried chicken joint. He was hungry, what can I say? Okay, plain dumb. But let's go to another topic now. And this one of what I think truly speaks the best. Acting. Now I know what you're thinking, but I don't act. What would I know about this topic? Well, let me stop you there and say that I just did it. I tried to put myself in you guys' shoes, because not all of you will know how to act, and if you do, congratulations. I like that. But for those of you that don't, acting, well, there's not really a definition for it. Well, by that I mean there's not really much of a, well, clear, as it were, definition for it. Because everyone has their own definition of words. People do their own different types of acting. Like there's method acting, there's horror show acting, there's talk show, game show, all different kinds of acting. People have their own variety. I mean, look at 980 WCAP. Everybody gets it. But they're all kinds of variety themselves. That's the word. But variety itself is something that we don't oftenly find. And I find that a bit awful, because we all have our own different type of variety, and that's something that we just don't put into like our daily lives. Like you're getting sick of like eating the same old cereal, like Cocoa Puffs or something. Big deal, got Friday Night Cheerios. But that's just one of the many types of variety. There's variety radio, variety television, and that's just to name a few. Because there is always a different type of variety. Because no matter how many concrete ideas that there may or may not be, there's always at least one window of opportunity or one door that opened for you to improvise on it. Capitalize. Capitalize to improvise. You should have put that for a motto. That should be a new thing for me. Capitalize to improvise. Makes sense. Anyways, improvisation is a type of thing that people don't really use on a day-to-day basis. But when you do use it, it really turns your life upside down and around. Because it opens up like a whole host of brand new ways that you could go about your life. Like a chicken fried steak for dinner. Speaking of it, that's a good idea. I gotta find out how to make that. But the point is, improvisation is the type of thing that no one has thought to use, with sole exception of actors. There's a few I could think of off the top of my head. There's Freddie Prinze Jr. He was like in a few different shows, like a few different movies. But there's also, actually, he's the only one I can think of. But I'm sure every actor out there always uses improv. And that I've always known is quite the thing to think about. Because you're not let off the path that you're on. You merely get another chance in life to do the things that you wanted to do. It's hard to believe, but it's a thing that can be done. Yeah, yeah. So, what else here? Let's talk about Strife. Does anybody remember the company Rareware? They came up with Donkey Kong Country, of which I think is quite the game. But that's just me. I thought it was pretty good. But turns out they were bought out by Microsoft. And just when they were trying to release Banjo-Kazooie, come on. But that is what that is what I dislike to call Strife. Strife is something I personally do not like seeing, and I'm sure a few of you DATV viewers out there share that same bond, as it were. Because I don't like strife. I can't deal with it. And if I see it, I try to figure out a way to stop it, because I just can't deal with that. And I bet no one I know can, because even if they tried, they couldn't do it. And it's hard to believe, but strife exists. Ever heard the Greek tale Pandora's Box? Well, if you haven't, it's about this little girl named Pandora who lives up in the clouds in a palace with the mighty Zeus, the god of gods. And there was a specific box that held all the diseases, all the problems of the world, like hunger, disease, famine, the generic stuff. But it held hope as well. And that hope is what drives us Americans further today. Because I think of hope as a shining light when the clouds have blocked out all others. I find that a bit of a thing that no one else has thought of, because people give up sometimes. I say don't give up. You've still got a lot of life ahead of you, I always say. Because my mom has always said to me that you should not second guess yourself, no matter what. And since then, I've been living by that motto for 15 years. And I've personally owed my entire life to not just my family, but also to, in a way, the DATV family. Because they've truly improved on my life where I thought couldn't be possible, but thanks to them, I now know where to go in life. My career is television. I'm talking to you guys through a camera, so clearly my career is going great. But it's not about me. Look, on the show it is, unless I have a guest. Oh, speaking of, be sure to look out for episode 6. I'm going to have one of my friends on. This is going to be fun. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. Us and pride. We all have our pride. We all have our driving force in life. If you're in a sport, you have strength. You have determination. We all have determination. And we show the determination every day, because we don't stop until we have all of the tests that are in front of us done to the best 3 stats that we have: efficiency, completion, and best of all, satisfaction. We all show the determination and courage to get that done. We all have our tasks that we do, and we all try to meet up to the maximum of those 3 standards. I've been doing that since the very beginning. Sure, we all have our slip-ups now and again, but once we look past those slip-ups and we move forward in life, We know that nothing can stop us once we've set our mind to something. We all have things to think about. Not just us Americans, not just us, but also people in China, Japan, Bolivia, Serbia. That's just pretty much the entire world shows the amount of determination required to get their jobs done. And I find that personally the greatest effort, not just us, not just Japan, China, whatever. I find that the biggest effort that the entire world, heck, even the entire galaxy can make. Because when you think about this type of thing, it kind of makes other problems feel like, what's the word here? Microscopic. So sure, you got personal problems. Sure, yeah, but people over across the other side of the earth could probably be suffering from like a disaster, like Haiti got hit by like a major tropical storm. And that's a bit huge because their city was literally in devastation. But they're still working on it right now as I speak. They're still working to keep that entire city back to the way it was. You want to know what that's called? Determination. That's what that's called. We've all shown that from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. And who knows, maybe even the next few millennia we'll still have determination. Because we all show ourselves that we can do the things that we do. We've all done them since the very beginning of time. Ever since, scientists have been working on cures for cancer. Fast food industries have been working on new ideas. And look at me. I'm still thinking of what to do for episode 10 of my show, and I'm not even there yet. But that's our determination. We've all been showing that determination ever since the Big Bang, which scientists have disproved. And I don't know why, but that's a bit odd. But either way, the one thing we all know is that we can't give up. We know that we are the type that is to live, be it in harmony or no, but we all live and strive to help each other. We don't stop until we have our jobs done. We share our health when a friend does not have them. That's always been a thing that I've been living by. And I'm a true, and I'm not trying to offend anyone out there, but I'm a true American. And I bet every single one of you DATV viewers out there are Americans as well. We live by the flag. That's what we've always lived by. Those stars and stripes are something we'll never forget. Our military, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, even our hospitals, they've been working around the clock to get this going, to keep us healthy, to keep us safe, to keep us alive. There have been many holidays, like 9/11, that have been dedicated to those times when many people have sacrificed to save our lives. If they weren't alive that day, I would not be sitting here telling you this. But they sacrificed their lives so that ours can live on, of which I think is a true patriotic endeavor. But it's not just that. Oh no. There are many different things that can help us live the American way. There are churches, there are hospitals, there are libraries, there are even common homes. We all live in those. There's apartments, there's phones, there's tablets, there's computers, there's laptops, some of which were made in China, but all of which came to America. We are a central network force, and we've all been putting our lives on the line. We've been risking our lives. We've been held in shock, happiness, fear, sadness, more than I could ever think of. We've all been putting ourselves on the line to make sure that our country survives. Our military is round the clock, and they don't stop until we're a safe country. Sure, that may take them the rest of their lives, but they're willing to put their lives on the line to make sure ours continue forward. We've all been looking at brand new innovations, and I think that at least by the future, if not 2040, 50, 60, there will most likely be robots that will be able to assist the military in their endeavors to bring forth eventually a safe Earth. And of which I think is the best, the absolute best of the best, the creme de la creme, the pièce de résistance, as it were. To truly show not just us Americans, but also the Bolivians, the Africans, the North Africans, the South Africans, the Europeans, the Asians. They've all got their best chances ahead. We've all got them in the best places that we could ever think of. Why? Because they help us and we return the favor. We defend their country and they defend ours. It's a mutual force. We are all a connect. People may think of us, it turns out, back in like 775, billion BC, we were nothing more than a superstate, Pangea. And since then, it's been quite the incredible thing. I mean, sure, tectonic movements have forced us to spread apart, but one day we may eventually reform into the supercontinent we know as Pangea. But until that day arrives, we can always make sure to keep the American dream alive. Keep any dream alive. Keep your television dream alive, keep your music dream alive, keep your acting dream alive. We've always kept our acting dreams alive. We've always kept any dream alive. Because we all have our hopes and dreams. Because we've been keeping them strong. We fed them the power, the hope, and the determination that is required in order to finally carry out those dreams and make them a reality. A reality that is inevitable, but we can always change the course of history. The only problem is we can't do it alone. We need to unite together. So what's the idea here? Well, the idea is that we've all got dreams. We all have things that we do. And sometimes we forget things. But at the end of the day, we can remember three core things. Number one, the military is always ready to strike for us at any point. Number two, we can always change the course of history. And number three, at the end of the day, you can always feel good about the things you started. So that's it for this episode of Boss It. I'd like to give a special thanks to Mike Dobbs for directing the entire episode. And that's it for this episode, viewers. This is Christian Ramos, and I'm out. See you next time. And you bossed.